call ourselves African without knowing for real. Right? I know a brother I work with, like he called himself Egyptian. I said, where are you from? He said, I mean, I don't know. What the hell you claiming that for?
Flash power.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like what? I'm gonna ask you a question, you know what I'm saying? So I said, I mean, I don't know. I just think, nah, bro, ain't what, that's what I just asked. It ain't about what you think. Like, what do you know? You know that's, nah, I just, you ain't Egyptian. You probably damn from,
all I can say for certain is I'm of and I'm not in.
Okay. But not in. I feel
I'm not in.
Go ahead.
And as for the old paths, there is the good way,
right?
And walk therein.
And what?
And walk therein.
That's why we asked, all right, where is that way? And once we found where it was, that's where we walked into. Right. That's why nationality was, culture was, language was, we're Hebrew Israelites.
Right. That's right.
According to the Most High God.
Right.
That's our path that we.
Well, I mean, that seems like a conversation in the way of integrity, of knowing thyself and not being maneuvered. And that's a lot of our problem now. They understand that because they put a whole science on it, right? They studied us centuries, right? So that's a lot of opposition you got to go against. Those are you don't have to go out here.
Black family might as well get we supply your kids.
I can be cool on my guitar. You know, I can be cool with me. You know what I'm saying? I love what y'all got going. I ain't got to be over there with y'all. But we still gonna love y'all.
That's right.
That's it. So, you know, that's the path of that integrity is being able to understand not every man is you, and you not every man. You know, you're not supposed to be. That's what a good law makes out. Make it enjoy.
First John chapter 5 and verse 2. For by this we know that we love the children of God.
Right.
We love God and keep his commandments.
So that's how we show our love. Show our love because it's actually in the love. You know what I'm saying? To tell our brothers, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, that sounds like an agreement to what we were just talking about. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we had to come
straight
at
up, yeah. In the book, now, I ain't right there.
You know what I'm saying?
This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2, and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, right? Not as in my presence only, but not much more in absence. Work out your own salvation.
You said what?
Work out your own salvation.
So that's why I said, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you're not making sense. You're making sense.
Yeah.
That's why we just showing you a certain way. Right, go ahead.
Fear and trembling.
Right, in fear and trembling, search out your own salvation.
That's what character's built. Right? True measure. Martin Luther King Jr. himself said that true measure of man is not what they're going your way. It's what you do when everything's against you.
That's a fire saying.
That's
like
character and dignity.
Integrity. Right?
That's source. That's what we connect.
This is the book of Job, chapter 27, in verse 6.
Bring it on.
Verse 5. God forbid that I should justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity.
It said what?
I will not remove my integrity
right?
from me. My righteousness I hold fast.
It said what?
My righteousness I hold fast.
Our righteousness we're gonna hold fast. Now, what? Just a question. Where's your righteousness? Where's yours lie? Like, what's your standard?
In the love of you.
That's your standard of righteousness.
In the love of my other brother. In the understanding that we are different, but there is aspects of me. You know what I mean? And if I negate that, then I'm negating myself, and that's the deepest level.
Is that your? So that's your moral compass. You didn't get that from nowhere. Okay, right. Experience based on morality.
And I mean, I've done a lot of things, right? But I understand what it's supposed to be. You know, it got a certain feel to it. Everything got a frequency. You can tell when the string in tune because it swings a certain kind of way.
I mean, that's a good.
Sometimes you close your eyes and your mouth and open your ears. You can hear the twins.
That's why the song is playing. We trying to see if we're gonna dance the feet to it.
1 minute for a scripture.
Yeah, bring it up.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse 25.
Bring it up.
And it shall be our righteousness
right?
if we observe to all these commandments.
Oh, what?
All these commandments.
Right.
Before the Lord our God, as he hath commanded us.
Right. So, like, real quick question: you agree with murder, like actual murder of your own people, like your people murder with that?
Well, that's a very deep question there, sir. It's part of nature.
What?
It's a part of nature. It's good. Go into the jungle. Look, our people.
You said, real quick. Hold on.
Of and not being.
But real quick, if you say it's a part of nature, that doesn't apply with every animal.
See that?
It doesn't.
Well, there's always an exception to the rule.
Right. So we got to be an exception to the rule.
And that's where your power is.
Exactly.
Because
So
you are the only creature on this planet granted the power to supersede your nature.
so murder. So now I'm gonna go back to that question. Murder. Are you okay with murder of your
Yeah,
people?
you touch my children, I'm gonna kill you and everything involved.
But that's not
with you.
murder.
I'm okay with it.
What I'm saying, murder is an unjustified killing of another man.
Right.
That's murder. It's different from murdering somebody.
I think that's all semantics.
It's not semantic.
Yeah.
So did I murder a
To take a
lamb?
life is to take a life.
But that's what I'm saying though. But what I'm saying, if I kill a fish, did I murder that fish or did I kill?
You murdered him.
So
He
unjustified.
did
Hold
nothing
on.
to you.
Unjustified. Pull up the definition. It's not semantic. It's just like it's not semantic. One is premeditated against actual soul. You know what I'm saying? An actual thing. When you read about this, because even ancient civilizations didn't believe that. That's crazy.
But hunger is a premeditation to murder. It's
So if I hold on,
it's
so
part of the
plants
natural.
are a living organism. If I go and cut a plant from its source, I murdered that plant. That's wild. Go ahead.
This the book of Numbers, chapter
That's actually
35 and verse 16. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron,
Right?
so that he die, he is a murderer.
Right?
The murderer shall surely be put to death.
Right?
And if he smite him with a throwing stone, wherewith he and he die, he is a murderer.
So these are aspects of a murderer. This is unjustified killing. It's not a so-called retaliation. It's not a war, because even when you go into a war, technically a war is not murder, because that's agreement or a contract to go fight one another. That's not murder in a sense. That's why after, hold on, that's why after, no, that's genocide. After, no, they're not. Yo, see, the thing is, you don't know the difference between you don't know the difference between a war,
Fucking
you don't, that's not a genocide. Look,
These
look,
are
look.
not genocides?
Go to the definition of a genocide.
No.
You don't know,
You lost
brother.
me. You lost me,
You don't
brother.
know. Look,
The loss of life is against source. Source
That's not
is
true.
what- You right.
It's not
because
true.
it is part of the cycle.
like you said, exactly. So your statement wouldn't be true about
You're right.
nature.
So allow me
Right.
to correct myself.
All right,
You're right. I
You corrected
misspoke.
yourself, right? But now I want to get actual. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I don't deal with semantics. I actually deal with etymology. Bring this out.
Genocide definition: the deliberate killing of a large number
Right.
from a particular nation
Right.
or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group.
Right. So a war between two, that's not technically genocide. If it was one-sided, that's genocide.
Right.
Such as what these other nations did to the so-called Hispanics and Native Americans.
Right.
That's a genocide. That wasn't a war. When you talk about World War II, World War III, that's not a genocide. You had two different nations fighting for a common ground or a common. Go ahead.
This is war versus genocide.
Right.
As in warfare, one side often dehumanizes the other side.
Right.
But unlike warfare, genocide is often waged by one group against another.
Right.
And not the other way around.
And not the other way around. That's why I said it'd be a genocide, because a genocide is a one-way street. You did X, Y, Z to a whole group or nation of people. That's not the same thing as.
Wait, I'm blown on. I'm confused on. And you lost that. Are you saying that genocide has not actually ever happened?
I've never said that. I literally
Okay,
said.
that's what I'm trying to
real
understand.
quick.
That's why I asked.
What I just said was all these other nations, Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans, the white man, the East Indians, the actual Africans, they all committed a genocide against the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
That's right.
literally put us into slave ships and killed us by the millions.
That's right.
So they committed genocide on us because it wasn't a war. Now, when we actually went to war with them, that's different. Because we had two sides that agreed to make combat.
Right.
That's a war and that's a fight. That's a battle.
You know any veterans?
I do. My cousin.
One of the things that blew my mind when I was speaking to a veteran, this was 2005-ish, right? The thing that blew his mind, and he was fucked up, like he out here crazy a little bit. The man told me he's not fighting in the army. He said there are no Iraqi uniforms. We are fighting the people.
Civilians, yeah. Right.
But that's not a genocide.
I didn't say that. You didn't present.
But I mean, there
Hold
have
on.
been several genocides.
Hold on.
Gaza is a genocide.
But real quick.
They bombing the
Real quick.
hospitals. Hospitals.
Now, the acts of war, hold on, the acts of war is different with every nation. The acts of war. Real quick, you're talking about Gaza. Did they not reciprocate over to Israel?
What choice do you have?
Hold on, that's not what I asked you. Because it's
We Negroes
a genocide.
retaliated as well.
A genocide
They
is
didn't just do it to us.
Cap.
Nat Turner.
Cap.
We retaliated.
Nat Turner. How long was that since 1492? How long?
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so
We
it's not.
have
So
a
that's not.
genocide.
But that's not a war. That's what I'm saying. The genocide you're talking about, Gaza. When Gaza went and did that to, it would have been a genocide if it stayed that way. They went and retaliated and did the exact same thing. That's war tactic. That's just like with Pearl Harbor. That was a war tactic.
Right.
They attacked a military base.
Okay, so
Now, hold on. Now, we talk about an aspect of an action. Your most logical one would have been Hiroshima and Nagasaki because they didn't reciprocate it back. They didn't come drop a nuke over here. That would be an example of a genocide, brother. You're getting your Jones mixed up, yo. Yeah, they did. I don't care. Because one
that's a
did,
retaliation.
no, one did it on a military basis. A military basis, that's a war strategic strategy. Bombing a whole nuke on civilian land is not a war strategy. You didn't get the bases. You targeted the people. That's a genocide, brother. That's not retaliation. Keep going.
Basic war tactics
I don't give a damn about none of them. If we keep it in the stat, go ahead.
Basic military tactics include ambushes, flanking, and using the terrain to your advantage.
Right? Like guerrilla warfare. Those are different tactics. Go ahead.
Other tactics include deception, observation posts,
Let me get Michael 2 and 1.
and close quarters fighting.
Right. That's strategic. That's basic strategy. Right? Now, what we're saying is in the Bible, I just call Michael 2 and 1.
See, you looking, brother, one
Let me
scripture
get
came.
Second Maccabees 11. Bring that up. Whenever you show you. We're going to show you. Ooh, no. Yeah, bring it up.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their
Read
beds.
that again from the top.
Woe to them that devise iniquity
Right, woe means to them that devise iniquity.
That's right.
and work evil upon their beds.
Right.
When the morning is light, they practice.
It said what?
When the morning is light, they practice
It
it.
said when the morning is light, they practice the same evil work. Go ahead.
Because it is the power of their hand.
Because it's in the power of their hand to do it. This is from an oppressive standpoint. It's in the power for them to take over these people. It's in the power of them to destroy this nation without them retaliating.
Right.
That's genocide. Go ahead.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
So they covet fields. They lust out these fields, these lands, and they take them by violence. Go ahead.
And houses and take them away.
They said what?
In houses and take them away.
Now, you could do that two different ways. You could do that in a war, right? Hence why certain, for example, with China and Taiwan and stuff like that. Taiwan, that's actually that territory. However,
Right.
they both and got their own independence. But China's not rocking with that. You was us. Same people.
We
You was us.
supported the independence because of the strategic location to China.
You know what I'm saying? It was by influence though.
Right.
Same
so
thing
this
with
is why they
Ukraine.
so mad at them because they sided with us when they
Exactly.
knew from the get-go they supported them.
Exactly, but the main problem, they left their foundation for a stranger.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So they oppress a man and his house,
Right?
even a man and his heritage.
Even a man and his heritage. These people, our name, our heritage, and our land.
Right.
They took everything from us. That's genocide right there.
Right.
That's not war.
Genocide to the fullest.
Yeah, that's not war. That's genocide.
Hey, y'all
Right?
keep
Bring this
on
out.
working, bro.
All praise to the Most High. Bring this one out. Yeah.
This the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Now, you may not be familiar with the Maccabees, or you may. I'm not sure.
familiar with
So the
it.
Maccabees, it was Israelites, Levites, and things of that nature. In the time of the Grecian era, when the Greeks came and took over, right? Because you read the Bible, you only get up to about Joel, Malachi, and all that, and after that, there's a shut off, and then you just jump into Romans. But what came before the Romans? Right. This is that span of time. Go ahead.
At which time, according to the commandment,
Right.
they put to death certain women.
Actually, read 1 and 1.
This the book.
Jump to verse 7.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 7.
Bring it out. So you know who's the ruling Greek at this time.
So Alexander reigned.
It said what?
So Alexander reigned
Go ahead.
12 years, and then he died.
You know Alexander the Great.
Right,
So that was his time.
They talking about because Alexander the Great ruled for about 26.
Nah,
12 years.
this is 12.
From the age of 20 to the age of 32.
Yeah, he died 20 to 32. Yeah. I forgot what disease it was. I think it was like, wasn't it syphilis?
Syphilis.
I think it was syphilis. All right, jump to verse 60.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment,
Right.
they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
So they was killing the Israelite kids and the women for circumcising the sons on the 8th day, which was according to our customs. Go ahead.
And they hanged the infants.
And they did what?
They hanged the infants
right?
about their necks and rifled their houses.
And they rifled our houses. See, that's why I was talking about in the aspect of killing versus murder. This is actual murder, right? Killing an infant and hanging them by their necks, that's murder. That's not a killing, because that's not two people in duel or something like that.
Right.
When you make a contract, like me and you make a contract, you know what I'm saying, this, that, and the third, to go to duel.
Right.
If one of us dies from that duel, I'm not being convicted or XYZ. It was justified because we made a contract to fight or
Right.
to be at war. That's killing. You know what I'm saying?
So, and what I'm hearing is, by that statement, what you're acknowledging is
Right.
the taking of an innocent life is murder.
The taking of an innocent life without justifiable reason.
Okay, it should be a justifiable reason.
Who?
Hunger. Would
Hunger?
Be a justifiable reason, yes.
I mean, to kill an animal, yes, that's not murder.
Well, then that's
To kill a plant to eat it.
I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from.
to kill a plant to eat it isn't, because it's a justifiable reason to indulge in that.
But the only ones granted the power to supersede our nature.
So you're just not gonna eat.
You can be much more conscious about it.
But
Be
you're
much
not
more
just
mindful. I'm not gonna be a glutton because that's a sin, isn't it?
Well, lusting or
That means
coveting
sin,
food.
too.
Yeah, lusting or coveting over food is essential. But eating a lot. Yeah.
Well, you would have to enter into a communion with this food.
Nah, the
or a
thing is,
contract,
nah, you just
so
gonna have
that
to.
it's no longer murder. It is
Nah,
a.
you just gonna. Nah, I
It's
mean,
not-
if that's the case, you just gonna die. Yeah, if it comes with air, nah. Because even if, you know what I'm saying, you talk about air, you breathe oxygen and nitrogen and all this other stuff. What you just took in and indulged and you push out, it's not the same. So did you just kill oxygen and nitrogen?
Right.
No, you didn't kill it.
Well, see, and that's the thing because one of the first sciences ever created, right? You are a reactor,
On 10 now.
which is what you do to air. You actually change its composition